There was a unanimous opinion on the inadmissibility of Israeli and American strikes on Iranian territory, which were carried out in violation of international law, in violation of the UN Charter, and in violation of the International Atomic Energy Agency's guarantees agreements. In the final declaration adopted after the first day of meetings, all BRICS members spoke in favor of ending any aggressive actions, not only against Iran, but also in the Gaza Strip, where the humanitarian situation is catastrophic. Everyone had a clear sense that similarly, the Israeli representatives, the Israeli army planned to act not only in Gaza, but also on the West Bank of the Jordan River. Everyone is aware of NATO expansion, which has benefited no one, including, in my opinion, the members of the North Atlantic Alliance themselves. Their disagreements are deepening. A slight mutiny is brewing since more and more countries wish to be guided, not by ideologically driven directives imposed by a master, but by their national interests. In BRICS, such a risk never existed, and I do not observe any threat of our activity being diluted. We are not talking about mediation. President of Russia, Vladimir Putin, reminded that when the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action on the Iranian nuclear program was agreed upon, it took into account Russia's capabilities in providing services related to the depletion of uranium accumulated in the Islamic Republic of Iran before the adoption of this document to the level necessary for energy purposes, for use in nuclear power plants. Here, first and foremost, the IAEA leadership must show responsibility for the assessments it publishes, which it published in the past, and which were presented by the IAEA Board of Governors, literally a few days before the aggression began. These assessments have been characterized by many as ambiguous, to say the least. Unlike previous Secretariat reports, they allow for interpretation that suggests Iran is not very diligently fulfilling its obligations. The Secretariat must provide some guarantees that henceforth it will strictly adhere to the mandates he is endowed with, and not attempt to insert any narratives that are subsequently used for politicization and to advance unilateral interests. Strange question. President Trump does not hide his goals. He primarily defends the interests of the United States, especially economic ones. Regarding investigation and bringing the guilty to justice, we are not trying to throw this topic into the international discussion right now. We are handling it ourselves through the State Prosecutor's Office and public organizations. Such materials are already occasionally published. We distribute them in the UN, in European international organizations. This work will continue. No one can escape responsibility. The West, who always teaches everybody about human rights, including you, us, China, Venezuela, everybody, they never use these words, human rights, in relation to the situation in Ukraine. On the contrary, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, this EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas, and others, they have been saying that Ukraine fighting against Russia defends European values. If European values are about canceling a culture, it's back to Nazism.